The reports are in, and Furiosa, a Mad Max story, has already flopped. Already, it hasn't even been out for long, and there are reports just swarming in saying that it is seeing one of the worst Memorial Day box office figures in almost 30 years. The articles are just everywhere saying that. And even though I see a lot of people online saying, oh, it failed because movies are just too expensive now to go to the cinema and watch them, or streaming has ruined everything, it's better to just wait for the movie to come out on streaming. Though I agree with this to some extent, I don't think it's the reason why Furiosa specifically flopped. Me, from the minute I saw the trailer, I knew Furiosa was not going to do well, and I have three good reasons why. So my first reason why I knew Furiosa was going to be an obvious flop is number one, audience interpretation. Now, I'm going to use past films to explain my points, so just hang in there and let me explain. Audience interpretation. What is audience interpretation? Audience interpretation is when your trailer drops, people ask themselves three things. One, why does this movie exist? Two, what is the intent of this film? Three, is this film for me? Those are the three things that typically everyone asks themselves whenever a trailer for a new film drops. A good example of a film that flopped simply because people could see right through the intent of the film was The Marvels. I was shocked just how many people boycotted that film simply because they were tired of shitty Marvel with their shitty agenda and Disney and their feminism and girl boss and whatnot. So the intent of a film is very important. Whenever there's a good film that does very well, people always say, wow, that movie was made with so much heart and so much passion, right? So intent of a film is very important. When people see the trailer of a film, they always have all these questions they ask themselves. A good example is the Super Mario movie. Let me use Super Mario for example. When Super Mario film dropped, let's use specifically the trailer, some people were like, hey, this is a movie for the gamers, for Nintendo fans. Some people said, wow, this is a movie for nostalgia. It's going to make me relive my childhood memories. Some people were like, hey, this is going to be a good kids film. Some people were like, hey, this is going to be a good family film. So there's a way that the audience interprets your film just by seeing the trailer itself. Why do you think a film like Barbie had to be sold to you one way, and then when you went to watch the actual thing, it was something else, right? In the trailer, it was this fish out of water comedy, and then when you go to see the actual thing, it's just feminism knocking you on the head several times, right? Why do you think that? It's because of audience interpretation, the way people interpret your trailer. So you need to ask yourself, when Furiosa, the trailer dropped, people ask themselves, why does this exist? It doesn't need to exist. Furiosa tries to flesh out a world and give you answers to things that you don't really care about, or you really didn't ask yourself, or you really weren't like begging for the answers, right? Was anyone crying out to know why Furiosa lost her hand? No. Does anyone really want to know about the long relationship between her and Imotanjo? No. Does anyone really want to know about how she managed to start driving the rig thing? No. So why does the movie exist? It's giving you answers to questions that nobody really cared about. Number two, what is the intent of the film? The first time I saw the trailer, just the poster itself, Furiosa. I didn't even have to read the Mad Max, whatever. Just Furiosa, and I saw Anya Joy. The first thing that came to my mind is girl boss. Girl boss. Why? Because of the way now movies have the lens in which we see films. Nowadays, it's very popular for people to see a film either as a blatant cash grab or as something woke for the masses to consume. Be honest with me. How often have you seen something and you're like, yep, that's going to be woke, right? There are many times that happens, especially in this era of films. That's just what's happening. And the other question, as I said, in audience interpretation, people ask themselves, is this for me? Let's be real with each other. Mad Max is not a franchise that appeals to a very large amount of people. The time that I watched Fury Road in 2015, I didn't even know that there were 3 other films before. I didn't know that. And I'm the kind of guy who watches a lot of films. So if I didn't know that there were other films, how would the normies who just consume whatever comes their way, how would they know about the fact that this is a prequel, or the fact that there are like 3 other films with Mel Gibson? How would they know that, right? If you want to see a film that a lot of people, they saw the trailer and the audience interpretation was terrible, Mufasa trailer. Yeah, from the minute everyone saw that trailer, a lot of people downvoted it and they said, well, this is just a blatant cash grab. It's probably going to be woke, and if it's not, it's just a blatant cash grab because that's what Disney does. So, audience interpretation is a very important thing. Number two has to be the cast of the prequels. Prequels have this thing where nobody cares about them because the main character cannot die. I am one of those people. People don't care about prequels because the main character cannot die. It's like there are no real stakes if the main character cannot die, and he can't die because he's going to be in the film that follows it in a chronological order. So the cast of the prequels, I noticed it when Hunger Games, Songbirds and Ballads of whatever, that film from last year, 2023, right? And Hunger Games, Songbirds and Song Snakes, whatever that movie is called. I just saw it was a prequel. I was like, no, thank you. I ain't got time for that. And the movie didn't do it bad, but it didn't do good either. If you look at the numbers for Hunger Games, Songbirds, and what's his face, that movie has such a long title. Good God, The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. The budget was 100 million. It made 330. That's not bad. But if you compare to like the original Hunger Games had a budget of 78 million and it made like 695 million, right? So prequels, nobody cares. Most people don't care about prequels because they understand that the main character cannot die. That's just the cast of the prequels. And lastly has to be the main character and their universe. Studios need to stop doing this thing where they have a familiar universe and then they put a character who's not like the main character of that universe. Once again, let me use Hunger Games as an example. That film is a prequel to Hunger Games 2012, but it's not about Katniss, it's about President Snow. President Snow is a famous character, but was anyone begging to watch a President Snow film? I don't think so. In fact, I think if that film had been more about Katniss, maybe when she was like younger, or before, like a prequel right before 2012, the 2012 film, maybe it would have done better because I would have definitely wanted to watch a Katniss film. I was not interested in a President Snow film. So I feel like when studios make movies and they use a familiar universe and then put a character who's not the main character, I would rather a studio has a familiar universe but creates a totally new story with totally new characters, kind of like what they did with Fantastic Beasts. I'd rather you do that. New character, completely new lead, and then familiar world, right? That one is fine. But when it is some secondary main character, right? Because in Mad Max, Furiosa is like a secondary main or character. When they do that, I just don't see the appeal. I don't think it's going to have the appeal. I don't see why anyone would go to watch a Mad Max film to not see Mad Max as the main character. Even if he's there in the background, that's not what audiences want. They want the character whose name is in the title is in the movie itself, right? That's the way I see it. So those three things are the reasons why I saw this as an obvious fail: the audience interpretation, the cast of the prequels, and the main character and their universe. Those are just my thoughts. What are yours? The reviews for this film are very positive, so I'm not going to sit here and do like a breakdown or anything. The reviews are very positive, so if you want to go watch it. But the reason why it didn't do well, that's the reason why I think. Anyway, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Tell me in the comments, and then I'll see you in the next one.